Welcome back to the worm. Let's get some power. I've been sitting on that digger for probably a straight 2 weeks, and I need a day or two off just for my body, my butt, my back, and everything else. But also, I got a lot of little things that I really need to get to. Somebody found some deer bones, huh? Ugh, God, so old and disgusting. I saw one mosquito 2 days ago, and man, I was, you know, if you've been watching, it was like 50 a couple days and I was sweating my ass off. And this morning I woke up and everything was refroze. It was like 29 degrees. Wonderful. But not a lot of sun this time of year, so we're gonna top these up. I think we're supposed to have partial sun for most of the rest of the day and then crap weather for quite a while. We also need to get rid of some of this. It's starting to take over. I burned up about half the garbage from the other fire pit, but hadn't started on this one yet. Am I supposed to pick this stuff up by hand? I'm living like a poor person. The digger's all the way down by my car. There are a couple things I'd like to do up here with it. You know, on my day off from diggering, I just like to do, whoa. Got my headphones in. I don't know what I just said, but it started playing the Diggers song. The words were, "You noble diggers all, stand up now, stand up now." God, technology is weird. Anyway, I really want to flatten out that sawdust pile. That machine also has all these weird Zert grease fittings like I've never seen. They're just like concave instead of the ones that I assume we're all used to that stick out and the grease gun like snaps onto it. Anyway, I greased it the other day. It didn't work well at all, so I bought a bunch of new ones. I think it's like 25 Zert fittings just on the, what's that called on a excavator? Is that an arm or a boom? I don't know. Is there something else? Oh, I'll show you this other project that I got in my mind. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if we can do it, but it's kind of one of those far away dream projects. Anyway, quit bothering me. I got stuff to do. Sheesh. Nowhere to go. What do we do, buddy? What do we do? Blotting out the sun. Hey, you mind if I show you real quick why my dog's better than your dog? Come on, come on. Go, boy. Not because he can do that. I just want to show you a little trick here. I've been using this undercoat rake on him quite often. Oh my gosh. His fur is so thick. Here, watch. Let's do one good stroke. Oh. Wait, okay. Oh. That wasn't a very good one. You can make a new dog every 3 strokes of this thing. Can your dog do that? Oh, they can? Well, your dog might be better than mine. Okay, now we got treats. This should work better. Here, buddy. Okay. Up. We'll keep snacking you all the way through so you don't run away. That's one way to do it. Oh my gosh. Wow, the static. That is crazy. Boy. Stop licking me. Man, this table is perfect for this. I don't know why it didn't cross my mind before. I think I mentioned before, thinking about building a little table in the shower, which I guess I could still do just to give him a bath. But for grooming, this table's great. Problem is, he always has to look at the brush. God, look at it. Isn't that crazy? Jeez. This is what's in every corner of the cabin, and I vacuum every single day in there. I know, that's just what you get with a furry dog. I should have expected it. But he didn't shed for about a year. Up. Good boy. Head up, please. Go ahead, just lick my hands. I don't care. Uh-oh. We're down to one more treat. All right, more coming tomorrow. You'd think with that much fur coming out that he'd be completely bald. That's like a solid mass. There you go, you techie dog. Come on. Don't really feel like getting the digger to drive it all the way up here just to flatten this out, but man, I really want to do it. I want to take that whole pile, and this is actually a whole pile all the way down to here, like years worth, and just spread it all out there. Sound good? At the end of the day's work, I've been parking the digger down by my car just so I don't have to drive it back up these trails. They're so incredibly soft. I can drive the ATV with the trailer over it, you know, like I do in the snow. I just cruise around in those fat tires, flatten everything out. But then you drive the digger on it once and you've got like trenches that deep. Well, let's get done the other stuff first and then we'll see how much time we got. I do really want to do that today. If we had the digger, I wouldn't have to do this by hand. It's very exhausting. Guys, gosh, that's not good for your lungs. I think the only two things I like about summer are solar panels and having non-frozen hand washing water. Haven't even used it yet, just filled it up from the lake yesterday. What I don't like about summer are heat, sun, warmth, dryness, brightness, sunscreen, sunburn, and bugs. Another thing we gotta do pretty soon is get ready for the ticks, which means spreading my tick granules all over the place and then treating all my clothes with permethrin. It makes sense to do that ahead of time, but God, just look at us. Look how busy we are. See if these bits and pieces will work. I find these super cheap little carabiners that you get at like the grocery store to be really handy. I like that they cost nothing if you find the right place. If you don't have to hold a lot of weight, I do pretty well. I'm using my magic dog finding watch. Sometimes you turn this thing on and it takes a second to really calibrate. It'll be like 1.2 miles that way and you kind of freak out for a minute. It says he's within 20 feet. Find yourself a good stick, buddy. Right about there, do you think? Get the stuff off the ground instead of leaving everything season after season, year after year. Plus it looks kind of cool hung there. Man, maybe I should have put it up higher. I think I should. I can't see it. Who put it up so high? I'm not getting a ladder. Okay, I'll get a ladder. That's better. You know what? We should, no, I have other stuff to do. I know, but it'd be kind of cool to carve his name into here. Maybe it needs like a racing number on one side.
I found this on the web.
What the heck? Now my freaking watch is talking to me? This does not feel like the woods anymore. Got robots yapping at me and dog sleds on walls. Jeez. There we go. That's how afraid of one mosquito I am. while we're at it. I was gonna wash the windows on the outside here before I put the screens back on, because there's like all sorts of spots and stuff right there. I thought it was from water dripping here. It's not, because there's a freaking gutter up there now. The spots are in the inside from when this all iced up and the water got inside the cabin. Whoopsie! If I can reach this, then I don't have to put my ladder right here inside this dog-sized hole. Couldn't help myself. Every time I walk by that sawdust pile, I just knew I had to do this today. I actually got myself 2 choke cables. They're super cheap, and it's impossible to tell online which you need, so let's see. Maybe we'll be able to start this thing without disassembling it every time. I know some people have asked about this machine and where I got it and all that. I'm happy to tell you that, but like, I don't know enough about them, and I didn't do that much research, so I wouldn't vouch for it. But these little rinky-dink Chinese excavators you can get for not much money a lot of different places, but then you have to import them. My understanding is that can cost as much as the excavator. So these are imported, I think, by a company in Texas. What's it called? Ripa, Texas, which I think is actually a furniture company that imports these. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's amazing that you can get one of these in your driveway for just over $6,000. At the same time, there's a lot of stuff in the way this is put together, like the engine and everything, that's just horribly done. Like the choke cable that was put on there, I mean, I screwed it up, but the way it was installed was it was just bent around and put through a hole, so there's tons of slack in it. I wondered why it was so hard to start, and it's because the choke would only go on part way, and then it also, I don't think, was turning off all the way. Anyway, it's just, there's a lot of stuff like that, but I mean, it's $6,000. I think I've already done $6,000 worth of work with this thing. Ooh, baby, that might do it. I'm sure you guys saw what the problem was with this choke cable, the part that I screwed up. Snow would get on here, you'd start the thing, it would leak down in here inside the cable, and then there got water in there. And I'd thaw it out, and then it would happen again, and I eventually just kind of mashed the cable too much. I don't know if you can see this, I don't know if you care about this, but the choke cable is just basically screwed in right here, and then instead of having the right little barrel on the end of this was literally just stuck through and tightened, so the whole thing is just slopping around. Not to mention, it was like I was told, it came with in writing, it came with a Predator engine, which is not, it's not a great engine, it's from Harbor Freight. But just a couple days ago, I pulled out the manual for this. In the entire manual, there's no brand name. Is that weird? On the side, it just says 420cc gasoline engine. I still think it was a great buy, but don't get it just because I got one. Or do get one just for that reason, but I don't think this is something you would buy if you're not willing to open it up and mess with it. I don't particularly like working on stuff like this, but you know, I'm not afraid to tear stuff apart and look inside and tinker with it. See, how hard is that? This is a $10 cable. Now it works like it's supposed to. But I honestly, truly am not complaining. It's just the kind of stuff you get when you buy the cheapest thing on the market. It's amazing that it works. What was I saying about buying the cheapest thing you can find? These were $10 choke cables, and they came with 2 zip ties. Both the zip ties, the little tongue inside broke out. Not with any pressure, I just put the end in it, pop. Yeah, that's what you get. Oh, I should have read the package. It's high quality, and not only that, because focus, so professional. I love packaging like that. Oh, this makes me very happy. Oh. Someday when I'm rich and famous, I'm gonna buy the entire stash of like bolts and fittings from a hardware store or something that went out of business. Look at that. Look at all those nice grease fittings and caps. It's got a very nice weight to it. We don't have that many more hours before it starts to rain. Maybe we'll save this for tomorrow morning before the storm. If you like all my add-ons on here, got the backpack holder, 3D printed tripod holder, and the retractable dog leash. I'm just gonna keep adding stuff on. Only thing I haven't figured out yet is why this often has a gasoline smell when I'm running it. I looked inside the engine compartment when it was running. I did find a leak and I fixed it, but it's the weirdest thing. The gas smell isn't coming out the tailpipe, and when you stick your head in the engine compartment, you can't smell it at all. Where else could it be coming from? Oh well, doesn't matter. Those fumes are good for you. They burn out the toxins. All right, it's sat long enough. It probably needs to be choked to start. Let's see if the choke lever works. Really wasn't designed to be picked up like this. Frozen in there. It's like a freaking board. Funner to unload this thing with the digger, but it takes too long to drive it over here and back. I don't know if you've noticed, but that thing is not quick. Wow. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need the digger just to flatten this out. Holy cow. Kuiper got a little tired by 6:30 or something last night. We had to knock off, so got up at 4 this morning. I don't even know what time it is now. Got to finish this before it starts pouring rain in about 2-3 hours. That seems unreasonably frozen, and then I remembered, I think there's a big stump in there. Oh, hi. Here, dig a little bit right here. Here you go, buddy. Get it, get it, get it. Jeez. Okay, bye. Oh my God, that's a little wet. Well, that worked out just fine. Of course, this was supposed to be my day or two off of sitting on that thing. But it makes a big difference doing a project like this where you're hopping on and off a lot rather than just sitting for hours in that tiny little seat. Probably doesn't look that different to you, but to me, it feels like there's a new room in my house or something. Remember that looked like it was on top of a hill? There are actually a couple of rocks in there. You know, I was trying to grade it all out, and then you just hit a little something. Well, I'll just pull that one out. It goes on and on and on. You're knocking me over. It's like one there, start scratching at it, and have to take all this out just to get, you know, that one that's sticking up too tall. But we got it all dug out, and I only broke one thing, so that's good. Just trying to grade along the edge there and clipped a little something like that, so I tried to dig it out. Bash this thing. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, look at everywhere you look, there's just piles of big rocks. Kind of brainstorming as I'm just sitting there driving that thing around, like what I could build or do with all these boulders. They're everywhere. This one I couldn't even pick up. I had to just shove it all the way over here. It's starting to sprinkle, and I'm freaking really tired. I need a solid nap, but got a couple minutes before it storms, so let me show you my idea real quick. Okay, I know I've brought this up a whole bunch of times, but there's a lot of the year, this is all cedar, so this is it's not quite swamp, but it's very wet. I'd like to put channels through all of this and collect all the water together into one like creek that would probably run for, I don't know, maybe a couple months in the spring and a couple in the fall. The lowest spot anywhere around camp is right back here, and that is pretty freaking swampy. And I really want all the water to go that way down the hill. There's like, this is the kind of a ridge right here, runs all the way down, and then the shooting range is right down there. So this is the high ground, the rest of the property's out there. But I think this area back here in front of the shower is, that's like mosquito breeding ground right there. And it really is just a big bowl. So my thought is to channelize all this stuff around here, bring it down to that big bowl, and then somehow drain that bowl down the hill. And I've done a bunch of walking around and looking at it. The problem is, from the bowl through the hill, it's probably, I'd probably have to cut like a 5-foot deep trench at deepest. I don't know if you can tell, but that water needs to go through this hill and down there. But this back here is, it's like a whole stand of, I think they're alders. Here you can really see it. It's just, it's like this for most of the year. But I think the worst and lowest spot, these are the kind of rocks we're dealing with out here. The worst spot is right back here. And I think this and this and this are all at the same level. So we could just cut some channels through here to connect these few mud pits. Then we got to get the water to go yet away, which would be good. I think this would be the project where when Sarah or my dad or whoever come to visit, if they want to drive the digger around, they can come out here and just dig to their heart's content. And that's after, of course, I clear enough of these down trees and dead trees and freaky trees. Yeah, this is the mosquito pit right here. So somehow go in that direction towards the cabin and the shooting range. Making me dizzy. Keep it up, buddy. Keep it up. You're doing good work. Yeah, so we'll chainsaw our way through all this stuff. Pile all the log bits aside. You know what? This is the spot to go through, I think. Sorry, I know I keep spinning around. It's hard to tell what direction you're looking. This looks like the low spot through the hill, the ridge, which is here, shooting range, cabin, mud pits directly behind us. So go right through here. Imagine, just imagine the roots that you're gonna have to figure your way through. And somehow we take this little creek. Ooh, you know what'd be cool? Run it right through the middle of the shooting range. Maybe come through here, somehow turn it, go right across there. And like theoretically, is it possible to make a creek? Obviously, it's gonna have to run downhill, but could you run a creek along a hillside? Whole reason I'm thinking about this is what to do with all the rocks. Yeah, just look at the ground here. They're just, everything's huge rocks. Could we run it across here? You know, we could line the downhill side with a million large rocks, and we could get a massive roll of that really heavy plastic and like line it to keep it here. I don't know if it'd work. And then this would eventually go right down here and hook up with the ATV bridge that we trenched a few weeks back. You know, it all flows under the bridge and then it just kind of disperses into the forest. We could keep a channel going and it could go all the way down to the deer castle. It could flow underneath that bridge we just put in there for the ATV. And then that'd be off the property. So it'd actually be one corner to the catty corner, wampus corner. I'm just thinking, get rid of some of the mud, some of the water out here, the standing water, the mosquitoes, and then also for part of the year have, I don't know how much water it would be, probably quite a bit. But mostly we want to do it just because it seems like it'd be really fun. You think on it, I'll think on it. We'll probably do it. Jeez, oh Pete, oh, there's his favorite spot. better get that energy out. You got the next 15 hours to lay inside the cabin. But you know what we need to figure out? I don't know how deep that machine will dig. I think on paper it's like 6 feet or something. Maybe tomorrow after it's done raining, we should take it out and just dig a hole. Did you fall down? You done? All right, I recommend we all have a quick nap. And I got some completely weird, different projects I want to do inside. Would you be interested in watching? Who knows? Hey, come here, bud. Mind if I defunk you? The dude does like a towel. Oh. Life sure is a lot better after a good fat nap and some lunch. Man, if there's one thing I don't understand, it's electronics. I don't get it at all. I use these Mises for editing videos and doing CAD modeling and stuff on the computer because they've just so many pre-programmable buttons. Scroll wheel, tilt, all that stuff. Problem is, with all those buttons, eventually one of them dies. Partly because I don't ever work at a desk. I do my editing on the freaking couch. I stand up, knock this thing over. And there are a couple dead buttons on... Uh-oh, did I already screw them up? No, this is the goodish one. I used one for several years and one button died and then another died. I was afraid the whole thing was going to conk out, so I bought a new one and it sat on the shelf for a long time. I finally thought it was kind of stupid to store one that fully works. So we got the new one out of the package, used it for less than a week, fell off the couch, and of all the buttons on there, this one, where you gotta like pull up or down on it, stopped working. And only one direction. Like it's not even possible to hit that button. Anyway, I don't think this is actually gonna work because I'm not gonna unsolder any like microchips or anything, but I think we gotta open one of these up. Let's see, this is the oldest one. Let's just see what's inside it. See if like there's any possibility we could pull that thing out of there and put it in. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be, well, it's gonna be a disaster, but I'm not using this anyway. Let's see what happens. There aren't any screw holes. Uh-oh. Wonder if they're under here. Yep. Yep. The good thing is, we completely screw this one up, it doesn't matter. It's another great gift that Sarah got me. It's been on my Christmas list for about 10 years. But I've got like a whole bunch of old rusty sets of micro screwdrivers. I don't know, I just never have the right thing, so this is kind of cool. They're all laid out for you. And man, are there some weird bits. Triangles. Look at this thing. Well, you won't even be able to see it. Like a prong. Oh, you know what that's for? I know where I've seen that. Public bathrooms. You know the stalls are put together with real weird bits so that you can't get them apart? There's like this 2-holed one, and then there's the flathead one that cams out if you go backwards. So you can like tighten it in fine. If you go backwards, it pops out. Holy cow. So Torx bits have 6 points. Here's a set that have 5 points. Here's something that looks like a frickin' snowflake. What is that? Oh, I never knew what those are for. The Phillips that actually has like another offset Phillips on it. And a flathead you could draw blood with. Oh, no way. Would these fit in here? Got this super old battery powered. Nice. It's not fast, but it does the trick. Keep you from getting the carpal tunnels. We could probably look up online how to do this. Oopsie. Oh, see? We could just take this whole chunk out and stick it in the other one. Oh. But I can't remember if these buttons all worked. Wow, I can see where my thumb has worn this one off and this one off, but this one looks new. I wonder if that stopped working. Look at that. That's the piece we need. Feel like a real professional with this thing. Maybe I should start ringworm computer and other electronic crap repair. As far as I'm concerned, if you've already paid for this stuff and it's broken, you might as well take it apart. If nothing else, it's just kind of fun to see what's inside. You take it apart with a hammer, it doesn't matter. Have a look inside and then throw it in the trash or whatever you were going to do anyway. Look at that. We just slip it right out the side there. See, you don't have to know anything to do this. You just make it up. Look at that. Should we try it before I seal it up? It works. See, this isn't rocket surgery. You can scroll to the left, you can scroll to the right. No problem. And when I break some other parts, we've still got some extras. God, somebody just dumped water right down my neck. What a jerk. Alright, while we got it out, we're doing good. This thing's bothered me since I got it. It's like one of those end of the world weather radios. You know, it's got a little solar panel. You leave it up there, it stays charged, or you can charge it with the old crank-a-rooney, AM, FM, weather radio. I don't know what else. Kuiper didn't like that. Got another little light in there. Anyway, the thing I don't like is no matter how much you crank it or how long you leave it up in the window, it never fully charges. But, I mean, the thing works. I've had to use it a couple times when, I was going to say when the power went out. When the cell signal went out for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days last year, I was able to at least listen to some music and check on the weather. But I thought we could just rip this thing apart real quick and see if we could maybe put a better battery in it. It's a lot of screws. Let's just take them all out, see what happens. We might be done before we get started. Don't you hate when that happens? The bits don't fit down in there. I have to go find my rusty set of screwdrivers. Unless... Is it Phillips? Ah, there we go. No way. It's the triangle one. No, it's like a Mercedes. No kidding. Well, I've never needed one of those in my entire life. I wonder if the battery's not in here and then we don't have to take the entire thing apart. Wonder if there's like a small nuclear reactor in here or something. Why would they put... They're all Phillips except for this one really weird bit. Can't open a $8 weather radio without a sheath knife. Oh, there's all the goodies in there. Oh. It's like a computer battery, like a big flat one, you know, like a sheet. Maybe it just is what it is. Well, crap, no. I kind of just want to see what it looks like inside this. God, I just hit that button again with the siren. Just about made me crap my pants. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to replace that battery too easily. This was made in 2016. No wonder the battery's not great. I think I bought this thing like 2 years ago. Well, let's take a picture and Google it, see what comes up with. It's all in Chinese. Isn't it the frickin' coolest thing that you can... It's so handy to be able to take a picture and then click on the letters or numbers or words or whatever in the picture and then just like copy and paste it. I think in my lifetime that's probably the best technology that anybody's created. Oh yeah, I forgot I can't see the screen without these. I just highlighted the string of numbers, click to look up. I know, you all know how to do this. Lithium-ion cells and batteries used in portable electronic equipments. There you go. Can I order it? Wow, this is way more expensive than I remember, or maybe the price went up. $36 for the radio, or I can get the battery replacement straight from China to my door for $180. I say we do neither, but see, at least we got to see inside this thing. Just some circuit boards. Wonder what this winding, I probably shouldn't stick my finger in there since it's still charged up. Wonder what this bar of like charcoal looking is with the winding around it. That's bizarro. And a speaker and some plastic gears down in there that work this thing. Oh yeah, look at that. See the whole thing moving around, the whatever you call that. Something you crank to make electricity. Like an alternator. Gyro, magneto? Is it a magnet? Might be a magneto. Who knows? Nobody knows.
50%. Saturday, partly cloudy. Highs in the lower 50s. Northwest winds 5
Kind of
miles
cool.
per hour.
Kind of handy.
Saturday night, mostly clear. East winds 12 miles per hour.
I could just listen to that all day.
7 p.m. Rain.
I like that background squeal.
Winds 9 miles per hour.
Sarah's on her way. We're not done yet. We got an hour and a half to finish some stuff up. Gotta switch out our Zurps. That's Z-U-R-P-S. And I found an extra mount, like the magnetic one I have in my car for my phone. I gotta put it on here. Why not make this thing super cush, you know? I think I counted a cool 3,900 of these that need to be replaced. You can see the difference between the weird concave ones and the, I don't know, standard. At least standard for anything I've ever seen in this country. Might be here all day just getting one of these to thread. We don't have this kind of time. It's because whoever packaged these didn't take too much time to figure the difference between the metric and the standard. So 2 of the bins are all metric, and they're the ones I need. Well, guess we can put the angled ones in instead. Got a lot of metric. Why would this thing not be metric? China can't be on this stupid US system. No offense, but it's really stupid. Oh yeah, since we got them, doesn't hurt to have these rubber caps on here. There are 3 normal Zert fittings on this whole thing, and they're all right here. I think it's because they're recessed in there and they couldn't get their fingers in. There's no way to put the other Zert in there. Sure looks like they would benefit from having a cap on them, huh? That one's definitely going to get broken off, isn't it? Should put the old one back in there, right where you grab logs and brush and everything. That sucks. Have to keep a separate grease gun fitting just for one of these. I just remembered they sent me a grease gun with the machine that's made for those other fittings, so we'll use it for just this one. You know why I was having so much trouble getting these to fit? There are 2 different kinds of fittings in this. They're standard and metric. I thought I was losing my mind going through that box. Must have added some. Maybe it was built with half of them and then they shipped it over here and added some more. Yep. Different kind from the same machine. There we go. All right, last thing we got to do. So we know if we can make our whole river system out here, we got to see how deep this thing will dig. I've also been meaning to fill that hole in that Tito and I dug. Since it's already a few feet deep, let's dig it a little deeper and then we'll fill it back in. I'm so curious. There's not really any way to set this thing so you know how far you could get down. Don't worry, we'll find out. You were worried. I know you were worried. Listening to Theo Vaughn for like 2 months straight. Love his show. And I just watched, this is a free shout out, I watched one of his I think it's more recent specials 2 nights ago, and I think it was the hardest I've ever laughed by myself. Sarah and I both love stand-up comedy, so when she comes here tonight, we're gonna roll down the theater and watch the special again. Yeah, it looks like maybe 2.5 feet or something in there right now. If we could get up a little closer, maybe we can, like 1 more foot, and then we'll have to dig, I don't know, straight down and close to you. I guess it'd be as deep as you can go. Oh no, it wouldn't, would it? This part's solid. I don't know. That's why we're doing this. Well, we've already learned something. If it's full of water, you can't see what you're doing. So if we trench this thing out, maybe we start at the hillside and work our way back to the water. Of course, it won't be deep enough going back there, but you could kind of like go back and start over and work your way. Yeah, because you couldn't, there's no way you could deal with big rocks in the water like this, completely doing it blind. You get down past about there, you can't even tell when the bucket's all the way furrowed. Well, we didn't hit the bottom by any means, but let's say bottom of the tracks to about that bolt. You could definitely work to there if you could see what you're doing. So, yeah, at least 4 feet. I mean, at very best, it would be 8 feet minus 3. Yeah, I bet 5. And when I was standing back at the little swampy area and looking out at the ridge line there, it's kind of dumb to call it a ridge line when it's only like this high. But I feel like I could just maybe see over the top of it, which means probably like 5 feet down we gotta go. Maybe someday we have a little seasonal river out here. All right, well, just got a text. Sarah's 20 minutes away, so I'm gonna put some of this garbage wherever it is garbage goes and go pick her up. Thanks for watching. See you next week, where she told me this morning that she got the last piece we needed to make sure we can build the 22 caliber light bright. So within the next couple days, and for you next Saturday, that's what we'll be doing. And watching some comedy specials and cooking most of our meals over the fire, as well as some grilling cheese I just picked up. Good stuff. All right, thanks. See ya.